Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Rebecca MC with another review video. I've just finished my first playthrough of Final Fantasy XVI, so here are my thoughts. So I am a huge Final Fantasy fan. I played almost all of the main games. The only ones I haven't played are 1, 2, 3, 11, and 14. I was super excited for FF16. I played through the main storyline as well as all of the side quests and optional mini-bosses called Notorious Marks that you can get from a bounty board in-game. FF16 consists of hack-and-slash style combat. Along with this, you get magic and magic special abilities that you get from icons, which are godlike creatures that have immense powers. If you're familiar with Final Fantasy, you'll know these as summons, and if you're an OG Final Fantasy fan, you'll recognize many of the icons, paired with their classic attacks, such as Shiva with Diamond Dust. Outside of the combat, FF16 has a simple RPG system. You can equip one sword, one belt, and one something called vambraces? I think they're like gauntlets? And 3 accessories. Additionally, you can equip up to 3 icons with 2 abilities each. You gain ability points and can use them to unlock new abilities. Of course, you can use consumable items as well, such as potions and high potions. FF16 differs than most Final Fantasies in that you can only carry a few consumables at a time, and they don't have as many items as other Final Fantasies. The only consumables are 4 healing items and 3 tonics that do things such as up your defense. So the main thing about this game is the combat. It focuses mostly on its combat, which is extremely fast-paced. There will be a lot of explosions, lights, and movement going on. You will be fighting things 3 times your size. They've also got fights where you turn into an icon and fight another icon. They're pretty epic. Another cool battle feature that FF16 has is their cinematic battle mechanics, which happen in important battles. In these battles, you've got what are called cinematic strikes, cinematic evasions, and cinematic clashes, which are basically quick-time events that result in a super cool move. You'll also get the classic limit break, which is like turning on God mode in this game, when previously it was more like an ultimate attack. The game is not really open world. You can't freely wander around the map, and you don't get an airship or other vehicle. Each area that you go to will have its own smaller map, and you can explore within that area only. But the game offers plenty of side quests and content within these areas. As far as the story goes, FF16 tells the story of our hero Clive, who you play as. You won't play as anyone else or give anyone else commands except for Torgal, Clive's dog. Or Wolf. Wolf dog. A good boy is what he is, really. You'll get party members from time to time, but you won't get to give them commands. They'll play entirely on their own. Mostly, you'll just be playing with Clive and Torgal. FF16's story is considerably much darker and more mature than previous Final Fantasies, with a lot of swearing, violence, and mature themes. I was definitely surprised by this, as Final Fantasies have been generally pretty family-friendly. In FF16's world, which is called Valisthea, magic comes from crystals. There are people called bearers, who can use magic without the use of a crystal, and they are enslaved by those who cannot use magic without a crystal. Magic also causes issues in the Blight, which creates barren land when an area has too much exposure to ether, which is the source of magic. And the Blight is slowly taking over land in Valisthea. Along with the overall story, there are also political storylines with warring kingdoms. Clive is from the kingdom Rosaria and is part of their royal family. He goes through a series of tragic events resulting from all the politics. And throughout the course of the game, he discovers a threat to the entire world. FF16 is really fun, but it's got a few issues. First, the combat is extremely fun and definitely the best thing about the game, but it's also kind of the only thing about the game. There's no puzzles, no mini-games, no dialogue options that would actually matter. I wish they had put in just one puzzle. Every single side quest, main quest, task is a fight. The story is interesting, but it does get very confusing and ambiguous at times, as well as all of the lore and world building. I like that they added a lot of articles that you can read about everything in the world. That filled in a lot of gaps for me. But even still, I was pretty confused about a lot of things, and the ending is pretty confusing as well. Unfortunately, I found most of the characters to be pretty lacking. Most of them I didn't find very interesting. There were only a few characters that I really liked, and I thought the characters in other Final Fantasies were much better. I also wish there was more interaction between party members while you're out and about in the world. They don't speak to each other at all when you're just running around, and I don't think they really talk in combat either. However, you do get a lot out of the characters' relationships, world building, and lore out of the side quests. I'm not normally a side quest person, but I actually really enjoyed a lot of these side quests. These side quests actually add a lot to NPCs and their backgrounds, and to Valisthea itself, that you would have missed otherwise. If you play this game, I highly recommend doing as many side quests as you can. So FF16 is kind of like an action movie. It's not doing anything groundbreaking, but you play it because it's fun and it looks cool. It does appear to be aimed at newer Final Fantasy players, so if you're a veteran Final Fantasy player, you may be disappointed. The game seems to be very beginner friendly, so if you're an experienced video game player, you may find standard difficulty very easy. They do have harder modes that unlock after you play the game the first time, but I wish they had made standard difficulty a little bit more of a challenge. Overall, I'm going to give FF16 a 7 out of 10. I think it's definitely worth playing, it just has a few major issues that brought it down for me. But if you need a reason, play it for good boy Torgal. That'll do it for this review video. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Or don't, I guess, I'll never know. Leave me a comment with what you thought about FF16, and check out my live streams and podcast. See you in the next one!